Next up is a request from Matthew, and well, it's time. He's asked me to start reviewing the CGI Swan Princess movies, starting with the 5th movie. He might be saving the Christmas movie for later because that came out in 2012, while the one we're looking at today was released in 2014. All I gotta say is, geez. After the 3 initial movies we covered, the Swan Princess has added 9 movies since its soft reboot and looks to finally be ending this year. Just why? What incentive does Richard Rich have in producing these? And who would even contribute to this? What? Yuri Lowenthal is a writer for this? I mean, he has done screenwriting before, according to IMDb, so I guess it's not that surprising. But why for Swan Princess? This I have to see, so let's rip off the Band-Aid and watch this royal family tale. Not again! Okay, I'm just kidding. During the studio title credits, we get a bit with Jean Bob getting chased by a native squirrel. I missed the old title card. Anyway, time for some backstory.
Long before the age of kings and queens, an evil force, the forbidden arts, came to Earth from the underworld through a magical crystal.
Wait, what? Yep, apparently the forbidden arts was a sapient force that tried to destroy any power that could match it. I thought Rothbart contained it in an orb during the 3rd movie, except it has an orb of its own here, long before Rothbart was even born.
In the coming day, there will be a Swan Princess. She will usher in an age of goodness.
Really? So instead of Odette being some generic princess, I guess she was the chosen one or something that could end all evil. Then again, she only became a swan because of the forbidden arts, so it's not like she's special or anything. That said, the forbidden arts also knows of some green stone with the power to destroy Odette, even if she isn't born yet. It alters the writing on this tablet to spread fear about some evil Swan Princess. It then searched in vain for the glowing stone for eons.
In the coming day, an evil Swan Princess will usher in the age of despair and lay waste to the earth and its creatures.
The false legend worked on the Scullions.
I don't think this is what the Forbidden Arts intended, because it doesn't really matter if only furry creatures know this, so we finally skip ahead where Odette is born, and we get a quick recap of the first Swan Princess movie, in CGI. There is a crap ton of retconning about the Forbidden Arts, and not just from this movie. In the first film, the Forbidden Arts is just a form of magic that Rothbart could use. The second movie revealed how Rothbart needed help from Claudius to gain that power before it was destroyed. Then Zelda recreates that magic in the 3rd movie, which also got destroyed at the end. Either we're ignoring the other 2 movies, or they thought it might be better to go with this plot thread of sapient magic and screw continuity. Anyway, not long after Rothbart's defeat, the Forbidden Arts found a Scullion and forced the animal to work on its behalf. And now, without further ado... Damn it, I was kidding! Somehow they made a new intro sequence that is worse than the old one. The CGI quality is also something out of Alpha and Omega with that uncanny valley look, so I'm really missing the 2D style from the first 3 movies. Hell, even Trumpet of the Swan looked better than this. We also have another overhaul when it comes to the voice cast. Like with the Christmas movie, Odette will be voiced by Laura Bailey, while Derek is voiced by Yuri Lowenthal. Jean Bob is now voiced by Clayton James McKay, Gardner Jess voices Puffin, Jennifer Miller is Queen Uberta, And the other changes you can find on Wikipedia. We get news that Queen Uberta is dying. Derek rushes over to see her and...
If I could just hold something warm, but smaller, about 8 pounds or so.
Man, she's just desperate to have grandchildren, even though they're not in her kingdom. Honestly, I don't know why she's pulling something like this, since Odette and Derek want the same thing. But Jean-Bob overheard Uberta's ruse and wants to use it to trick a girl into kissing him. Do you really think some random girl would do that? Of course, everybody loves me. Why doesn't anybody love me? Am I not attractive enough? Woe is me. Moving on, we have 2 Scullions, Cutter and Jojo. Oh, please let me have at least one Jojo reference. The latter is voiced by Kirk Thornton.
We're master trap makers, Cutter.
If we fail, the Hunter Prince is sure to track it back to us. And then the Swan Princess would come and wipe out all the Scullions.
I guess they weren't around to see Odette. They planned to block the road with rocks and scare her horse to have the wagon drag her over a cliff. That will have to wait, though, since she and Derek are helping out a woodcutter.
I feel a little guilty.
Well, we could raise your taxes.
Huh?
Time to break out the guillotine! Anyway, the Scullions carry out their plan by spooking the horse with their acorn shooters. The plan almost works, but Derek saves Odette in time. The 2 Scullions then retreat by flying, as they are kinda like flying squirrels.
That's right.
Now we properly meet their leader, Mangler, voiced by Joey Lotsko. As we saw earlier, he's working with the Forbidden Arts, voiced by David Lodge. But since he failed to kill Odette, he's being forced to guard the crystal now, while the Forbidden Arts, let's just call him Fa for short, goes after Odette himself. Good job! Well, this does lead to an important plot beat, as the crash caused this house to catch fire. Odette and Derek go inside and rescue a little girl and her father, only for the father to just die.
Promise me you'll care for Elise. I promise.
Daddy? Daddy?
He died? And this is supposed to be a kid's movie.
Okay, but seriously, we've had people die in these movies before, but this just felt abrupt. Regardless, we are formally introduced to a new character, Elise. She's not at ease with her new home since she didn't have time to process her father's death, so she's not going to refer to Derek and Odette as mother or father, which is not a surprise. Of course, Odette is sympathetic towards Elise, because she lost her father too. I'm glad that Rogers and Uberta approve of this adoption, since they were pro-baby earlier. We also have Bridget show up after only having a cameo in the 3rd movie.
And what girl could survive without a Marry Me Leopold? Far longer than
Okay, that was kind of funny. And as silly as it is for Uberta and Rogers to trip over themselves for Elise, they mellow out when they learn that she won't speak. They need to help her open up somehow, so why not a song sequence to do just that?
Today's the day for adventure, so many things to try. Play hide and seek in the castle, explore the countryside.
Song aside, I appreciate how they're trying to help a little girl cope with her loss. It also tacks with Odette and Derek as rulers who willingly help out the people of their kingdom. If only Cutter and Jojo could see this happen. But if there's one problem with this sequence, it's just the overall design. I get that CGI saves time by avoiding the need to create new animation cells, but I don't think the series made a smooth transition to this new style. Meanwhile, the Scullions have their own tribal song as they prepare to attack our heroes directly. Mangler plans to abduct Elise to lure out and kill Odette and Derek. For such tiny creatures, they sure are pretty violent. Meanwhile, Odette sings a lullaby to Elise, with her singing voice by Catherine Hill, while we get more CGI flashbacks from the first movie.
I know there's pain locked deep in your heart. You feel like you're lost all alone.
Not gonna harp on it much more, because I think you get the picture. The next day, the Scullions begin their operation. During a game of hide and seek, they cause Bromley to faint, thus buying time for them to prepare a trap for all the others are distracted. In the meantime, Odette confirms that Elise has no other living relatives. This means that she and Derek can formally adopt the girl. But once they go outside, they see the Scullions taking away Elise. They then give chase while the remaining Scullions hold the others hostage.
Frosting the snow.
Don't think it, don't say it. Don't think it, don't say it. Damn it. Oh, and as punishment for protecting the evil Swan Princess, Odette's friends are to be flung through the air with a catapult tomorrow. Joy. Elsewhere, Derek and Odette go through various traps until Mangler hits Derek with a poison dart. It all looks doomed until a portly Scullion shows up to help the two escape. Odette ends up calling him Scully, and after he makes an antidote for Derek, he explains what the deal is with his people and the forbidden arts. Speaking of, Mangler presents Elise to Fa, who then decides to lock her in a cavern room. Odette and Derek now need to find the Scullion village where their adopted daughter is held, and Scully is convinced of their goodness and offers to help. They won't be going it alone.
Fortune smiles.
No, the name is Jean-Bob, and this is a frown.
The potion I'm about to make calls for frog's eyes.
No, it's all right.
Oh yeah, that thing. I guess Scully had it on his person for centuries. But Odette is pretty confused about her connection with the forbidden arts, so Derek has to fill her in on the the lore.
Why didn't I?
You really believe that I...
Will usher in an age of goodness? I've already seen it happen.
Wait, that would mean there were other stones carrying that prophecy. That would explain why Scully knows that theirs was corrupted. Back at the castle, Rogers is defending Queen Uberta in a trial for being in league with the Swan Princess. At first he seems to do fine, but then he does a stupid thing.
To the charges that Queen Uberta gave aid and comfort to the Swan Princess. Guilty!
Okay, that was just for admitting to aiding Odette, but he also insists that she isn't evil, which is alright if they didn't get gross about it.
Fact. Orphans are alone. Fact. Orphans love gingerbread. Fact.
Not that it matters, because this trial is rigged.
Now I ask you.
Sorry, insufficient evidence.
Anyway, to get to the village, Derek plans to fake his death and let his body be found by the Scullions. Once that happens, the others will try and find Elise. While that's going on, the container holding the glowing stone starts acting up on its own. Touching it just makes it say, beware.
Good choice. I don't like spooky magical messages that begin with, beware.
Though it does start going over the entire prophecy. But for now, Scully confronts Mangler and calls him out for keeping the other Scullions in the dark about Odette. This gives Puffin the chance to knock him out, but then Derek woke up too soon, so he has to act on his own.
I'm a good guy. The Swan Princess is a good guy too. Just a girl version of a good guy.
So, a heroine. Or you could also say that the legend is wrong. Derek doesn't get far and is caught. The Scullions prepare to execute him, but before that, Scully drinks a potion to look like Mangler before sneaking into the cave. Here, Fa tells him that Odette has the stone, and he needs to get to the stone first so that he can destroy her. Scully warns Puffin, and both realize that Mangler broke out and explain what was going on to his boss. Fa then leaves the cave to find Odette, only to run into Scully and does this to him.
I saw the box that holds the stone. Tell me where it is.
Well, normally I'd like to help where I can, but no.
So, is he just made of fire? Is that how he works? Odette shows up and her presence seems to harm the forbidden arts. Puffin then shows up to tell her about Derek, so she heads to the village to stop his execution. She and Scully then try to prove to the Scullions that she isn't evil.
Please, if I was as evil and powerful as you've been led to believe, why haven't I attacked? My only power is that I love the girl, the child you took from me. Please, she's already lost so much. I only want to live to love her.
And really, two of them should know better given the earlier song sequence. The Scullions don't know what to do, and so they question Mangler. When their superior tells them to kill Odette, they don't listen and try to stop him from killing her.
Oh!
Can't see you. I'm right here, Jojo. Right next to you.
Well, didn't think I can say this, but goodbye, Jojo! But Derek was given an extra antidote in case he was hit by a dart, so they used that to get Jojo back up. This act of kindness changes the one piece of stone they have. Its text is back to what it was before Fa tampered with it, and Mangler is now captured. Now they just need to get the glowing stone, which Speed and Jean-Bob have as they're chased up a river. Derek will go get it with the Scullions, who are now on his side, because they still have to help their friends at the castle who are on trial. Odette and Scully go save Elise, but Mangler escaped capture and is going after them too. Fa then pursues the animals, but not before they were able to give Derek the stone. Before Uberta gets flung, she spouts some kinda funny banner before Rogers goes up to her, apologizes for how he treated her before, and says this.
I love you.
What?
Oh, I know it's socially inappropriate, perilously presumptive, and wrong. But
3.
you love me too?
Oh, how romantic. We shall be flung together.
Honestly, given what happened in past movies, they were made for each other. Cutter and Jojo make it in time to tell the truth about Odette, so Uberta and company are spared. Then Mangler tries to kill Odette one last time before Scully saved her. He needs to get out alive, however, and...
Mangler!
well, he was a bit crazy. Odette finds Elise and tries freeing her to no avail. Derek and the others try to sneak past Fa to get the crystal to the castle, but the big bad finds them. Now they have to play keep away with the crystal with the help of the Scullions until Fa captures Derek. The Scullions give back the crystal, and now the villain can gain unlimited power! Or he just turns green. Whatever. Back over to Odette, she can't seem to free Elise until...
Break the crystal.
Yes.
In fairness, the thought of rescuing her is what counts. The final boss shows up to gloat, so Scully has to do something despite losing his glasses.
Power is all that matters, and I have it all.
So Odette distracts Fa long enough for Scully to make the ultimate sacrifice. Okay, I actually feel bad about this since he wasn't annoying and was really contributing to the story. So with the Forbidden Arts destroyed, again, Derek and crew are saved. As for Odette and Elise...
Mommy? Elise.
As the movie winds down, we see Elise officially becoming a princess. The Scullions are on good terms with our heroes, and Uberta hints that she might be with Rogers. Scully gets a statue in his honor, though the moment could have been more dignified if his ghost wasn't there. Now, while I still think this movie was unnecessary, especially when going down the CGI path, this wasn't that bad. As silly as these squirrels were in being the only group to know of the Swan Princess legend, they did pose a real threat without having the humor overshadow that. They came close to killing our heroes a few times, and that's even before the big bad took any real action. The Elise subplot is alright too, and it shows how Odette and Derek can be kind to people they don't know. Odette helping an orphaned girl ties nicely to her backstory, though I wanted more focus on that connection instead of letting the main plot take over the way it did. Beyond that, the humor is about what I expect at this point. It's very exaggerated and a little overbearing at times, but every so often the movie made me laugh. It may not be worth a watch, but versus Norm of the North or some of the other Swan Princess movies so far, this one is passable. Unlike the next request, which is more of a one-hit wonder with a hell of a cult following. I'll see you then.
I could